Hello and welcome to Future Forward, Grade 8 edition. This is brought to you in partnership between OVIN, the Ontario Vehicle Innovation Network, and OCTI, the Ontario Council for Technology Education. Future Forward is bringing a variety of lessons based on the transportation and mobility industries. There are 4 lessons in this project guide, starting off with a toy car challenge, the evolution of vehicles lesson, mobility of goods lesson, and a career research trivia game. This project outline covers a variety of lessons that help incorporate the automotive and mobility industry within the curriculum expectations of grade 8 science, geography, and history. These lessons can all be completed as a full deck, or they can be done as a standalone extensions to meet the curriculum expectations. There's also a really big focus on student reflection in each lesson. There are a variety of OVIN sectors that are incorporated within these lessons, specifically in the last activity, which is a career trivia game. Safety concerns. So always know and understand and follow your individual school board safety guidelines. A lot of school boards have their own documents that provide the policies and procedures. Research using websites and applications that are approved by your school board. And there are a few documents from OCTI to help with the proper use of hand tools and science safety in the classroom. We're going to start off with a design and build a toy vehicle challenge. So we have, again, the learning goals, the materials, and the curriculum expectations within each lesson. This lesson and this activity has a variety of challenges that you can use, but we're really focusing on the engineering design process, and especially that testing within the engineering design process and teaching students that it's okay to quote unquote fail and learning from the mistakes we make and the errors we make in that redesigning. So there's a variety of ways you can do this. As you can see, you can use recyclable materials, elastic band car, a mousetrap car, 3D printed vehicle. There's also an extension available if you have coding at your school and with microbits. We have the curriculum expectations. A big focus on this lesson is using recyclable materials. This is a list of possible materials, but you're welcome to use whatever you have accessible to you and your students. Within each lesson, there are different tools to reflect on student learning. So the Connect, Extend, and Challenge, if you click on this, that will give you some reflection sheets that your students can use and reflection tools. So we start off this lesson with reviewing the 6 simple machines. This is linked to Systems in Action in grade 8. This is a video that I like to use to introduce the engineering design process. I find it really helps with it. And again, we're really focusing on that testing and the iterate section of the engineering design process, but you can use any video that you like. With every lesson, I like to have a little story behind it. So the story behind this is that a local toy company is looking for a new car toy to sell. And I find this kind of engages students when they have that little theme that goes with a task. So throughout this, it tells you the different components of an engineering design process and what students are going to do. Again, I like to first focus on the testing and then reiterating and students recreating it. So there are 4 challenges. Which car moves the fastest speed, which car moves the furthest distance, which car can carry the heaviest load, and which car can move in the straightest line. And I like this because a variety of students can be successful because different cars, will have maybe have better aerodynamics versus another strong car might be stronger. There are a couple extension activities, such as making this cross-curricular with math. And if you have access to a 3D printer, you can 3D print your vehicle or components of the vehicle. Every lesson in this guide has a sample rubric. We're now on to the evolution of vehicles lesson. So within this lesson, students are looking at how cars have evolved throughout time, and then they're designing a vehicle of the future. So this links well to history in grade 8. So assign each group of students or each student to a different timeline, a different period, have them look at vehicles, what the major technological advancements were, why that's occurred, and have students research that and then present it to the classroom. Here is a student handout that you can use. There's also reflection. Students then will present this to the class, and they're going to talk about the impact of the innovations and the efficiency on the vehicle. So why were these changes made and how did it help society? And then we look at more of the project, and that's having students create their car of the future. And it's really important that students think of something that is reasonable, that they think will happen. Again, there's reflection tools and some extension activities can be talking about the environmental impacts of different modes of transportation. Sample rubric. The next lesson is focused on the mobility of goods. We have our lesson goals, materials, prior knowledge, curriculum expectations, again, reflection tools. So the idea behind this lesson is that students are going to take some time to think about how products, how goods get to their home, and what is the whole trip, the whole voyage that they do to get to our home, the food on our plate, the clothes that we wear. We start off with a think tank and having students collaborate on different ideas on what they think are different modes of goods transportation. They then look at different systems within a system. Again, this focuses on the systems and action unit in grade 8, but they look at the different systems within a system. So the mobility of goods is involved in many different systems within our society. It's recommended that if possible, you can connect with a local community business and ask them where they get their goods from. Maybe a student has a family member that owns a business, or maybe there's a business within your local school community that would be happy to help with us to get that local perspective. We then have students create a little story on Scratch or Microsoft MakeCode that talks about the trip that product that they've chosen has taken to their home. So what are all the steps it takes from production to get to the shelves in the store to get to your house? There are a variety of extension activities. Again, this can link to grade 8 geography by looking at the environmental impacts of the journey of the project that students have chosen. A sample rubric. The last lesson in this guide is a career research trivia game. So this lesson is focused on the careers related to the OVIN sectors that we saw at the start. And through their learning, students will then play a Jeopardy-style trivia game. Again, we have our lesson goals and our materials, prior knowledge, curriculum expectations, and our reflection tools. So this really focuses on the career pathways. And so I would give students time to review on the OVIN site the different career pathways, what kind of education is needed, what are different course-based learning opportunities and occupations related to the career that students have researched. You can do this in a variety of ways. Students can research all the career pathways. You can have groups of students research specific pathways and then present to students. There's access to a variety of worksheets at the bottom that are graphic organizers that can help with this. Once students are done with this, you are going to play a flippity game. So it's a game that is very similar to Jeopardy. And you have the team names on the left. On the top, you have the different categories and you have the amount. So you can divide your class into as many groups as you'd like. You need a minimum of 2, but you can have more. And you can ask them questions, have them decide, for $200, I want tool, die, and mold. And if they get it correct, you click a little check mark beside their team name. And that will add up your points for them automatically. And groups of students can choose their own team name, which is fun. You also have a link to the answers. And you can also edit this. It will force you to make a copy. So you can add in more questions if you'd like, or take out questions if you find that they're a bit too difficult for your learners. Again, this is what it looks like. And then there is a final reflection on this activity. A sample rubric again. And here's our appendix with our rubrics, our reflective tools, the worksheets, as well as the Octi documents. So I hope that this tool, these lessons are helpful for you and your learners and that you will use them and that your students enjoy the learning process. Thank you so much.